Welcome to the Frustration to Freedom podcast. My name is Mike Bemis, Senior Advisor Development Consultant at Simplicity, Minneapolis. I'm here with my partner in crime, Jeremy Karja, also Senior Advisor Development Consultant at Simplicity, Minneapolis. Jeremy, episode 9. Let's go.
Wow,
Let's do
we're
this.
moving.
We're moving along great. So I'm excited about this one again. I know I'm excited every time. I'm a sanguine. I don't care. But agenda. Why is that important? Why is it important, Jeremy, to have an agenda in your second appointment? So there's 3 things that we give them in the second appointment. We have an agenda, asset summary, and their numbers and income for life report, the assessment, right?
Yep.
So this is the first thing. This is the agenda. Why do we want to have an agenda, Jeremy?
Yeah, and let me say this too. When we did these events around the country, we would have probably on average 50 people in a room where we do these little, mini seminars for 3 hours around the country. And I'll never forget when I did those, I would always ask the question, how many in the room have an agenda that they use at every second meeting and beyond? And I would get 1 to 3 hands every single time. So it always amazed me how many advisors are not using agenda. Please use an agenda. The reason you want to use an agenda, to answer your question, Mike, is, again, you want to make sure, multiple reasons, but you want to make sure you're on the same page with the client. Did I miss anything in the first meeting? Is this everything we need to cover today, right? Are these your goals? Is this your strategy? Is this what we're trying to do? And it's also a time to uncover any extra questions. You don't want to get to the closing, Mike, and all of a sudden they have all these questions, concerns. This is your time to flush all that out. So when you come to the close at the end of the second meeting, there's no big surprises, big gotchas that all of a sudden come up. So you really want to flush that all, I would say, is probably the biggest goal of the agenda.
That, I would say another thing to add is that agenda really helps you pick up right where you left off.
Yes.
At the end of that first appointment, because now we're talking about their goals, their dreams, their emotions, things that really matter to them. We're reminding them why they're here, right? Why they're in front of you right now. And so that they want to retire right now, that they want $10,000 a month, that, Sally is sick of her job and she can't sleep at night because her boss is terrible, whatever. I'm just making something up.
Yes,
right?
That's great.
But, they're tired of missing their grandkids' sporting events or plays or dance recitals because they're working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so crucial because you're going through step by step on what they said to you. You're just reiterating what they said to you. Now, you led them down that path, right? So when they said they want the sure thing and not the maybe, you led them down that path. And you're telling them, hey, we developed a plan today based on what you told me you wanted. You said you wanted a sure thing. What we're going to walk through today is a sure thing. It's contractual minimum guarantees. And that's what we're going to use. Are you okay if we show you a plan based on contractual minimum guarantees? And what are they going to say to that? Of course,
that sounds great. I'm going to show you worst case scenario and everything else.
Worst case scenario. On top. Yes. Right? Yes. Yep. I think that's so crucial that you point those little pieces out and you just walk through that agenda, again, using sure thing or maybe and all the other power phrases. You said you wanted X amount of money per month. You said that you want to get closer to the grandkids. You said you want to retire at this age. You said, right? You're just going through that in detail.
Guess what? I got a little sample here.
Oh, I like that.
So just a sample. I'll say this is one of our examples we use all the time here at Simplicity Minneapolis. It's Bob and Sally again. I know they're super popular. It's just an example. There's 11 points on here. It doesn't always have to be 11 points. It could be 3 or 4 or 6, but I don't need 25. These guys, they want to retire $9,000 a month. They want to move closer to their grandkids. Make sure that Sally's taken care of if Bob passes. They want to retire now instead of 67. They never want to run out of money. They don't want to be a financial burden to their kids like Bob's mom is, right? And that's kind of reviewing some of their goals. They want $9,000 a month as a sure thing versus a maybe, right? Now we're going over some of their risks, the market correction, Bob dying and Sally not knowing what to do. What is that income cliff? I'm going to show you, I did the assessment because of Bob's pension at a 50% cliff. I'm going to show you what that looks like, right? Yeah. And what if Bob passes before mom passes? What does that mean for Sally? right?
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add here, Jeremy?
Well, again, you're going to use an agenda in the third appointment as well, right? But it's
Yeah.
going to look pretty similar, if not the same to this, if it didn't close in the second meeting. And you got to remember this third meeting is just a continuation of the second meeting. And you
Yes.
kind of already showed them, hey, here's the solution. Here's what we said. And you're just opening it up to them. But that third appointment agenda is going to be very specific, like, hey, we're moving XYZ. You came back in here. And if you're back here, we're moving forward, right? So just want to touch on the third appointment agenda is either the same or even more basic than the second appointment agenda. And some people have more detailed agendas. You don't need a lot of detail. You just need to cover the things that are most important to them and uncover their pain, I think, is the main idea.
And another way to look at it too is you're validating that you're listening to them.
Yeah.
You're validating that they have been heard.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing. A lot of people, especially with their money manager advisors, again, we're not saying it's bad, but that they're not being heard. They're just getting a Monte Carlo, right? With, hey, here's the strategy. Well, you're validating. No, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah. You always want to think of in terms of what makes me different than the advisor up the road. How am I differentiating myself so I can be the main individual in this area that people come to? And one of the difference makers is a simple agenda. Everyone's going to feel loved. Everyone's going to feel heard, right? We all know that, especially us married people. People want to be heard. And this communicates to them that you were heard. You were heard. Yep. And a lot of times my advisors, sometimes depending on you check with your state, but they will get permission to have AI, get the notes, if you have a secure version of that. And a lot of times you have to ask the client for that, but then you can take those notes and use it that way. Or if you're, large enough where you have an assistant, a lot of my junior advisors or assistants will sit in those meetings to take the notes to make sure you got all the details so you can transcribe this from the first meeting to the second meeting agenda.
100%. All right, guys. If you want to learn how to do an agenda, click on our calendar link and you can get Jeremy or I. If you want to join Team Elevate, right? We'll help you implement agendas in your practice with your logos. Our marketing team can help you out with all of that. So it can be part of your process and you can show your clients you're listening to them and this can be a part of your process.
Yeah, call us and we'll give you a little bonus. We'll give you a couple different sample agendas from some of the top producers, including Mike Starenka.
Awesome. Come join Team Elevate. Click subscribe, book a time on our calendar. Let's go. Let's go do this.
Let's go.